All right, in today's video, we're going to talk about exactly how to set up Google Ads. Now, we do this for a lot of our clients, and it's just something that's kind of really easy to do, but sometimes difficult to necessarily do correctly. So, in today's video, I'm going to show you exactly how you want to set up your Google Ads. And if you have any questions, feel free to drop them in the comments below. You're going to want to make sure you follow this step-by-step instructions all the way to the end because it's going to be a lot of really valuable information here. And like I said, not super complicated, but it's very valuable to go make sure you go through this step by step. So first thing you want to do is you want to go to Google. You also want to be signed to a Google Ads account. So the one big thing about this is you want to make sure that you're actually signed into this particular Google account, and sometimes you want to make sure that it's an account that you feel good about continuing going forward. It's not just a dummy account, but you want to do the account that you're going continually. So once you have that set up, you're going to want to go over to just ads.google.com. So once you're on there, basically this is the page. Look a little different. What we've noticed is different countries, they'll have different pages. Like for instance, choose an offer and get up to $1,500 ads credit. So if you're a new advertiser, you might be able to get that ads credit, but it just kind of depends on necessarily where you're doing this from. So what you want to do is go over to Start Now. And this is assuming you don't have a Google Ads account. And you want to go ahead and Start Now, and it's going to load up creating your first campaign. So what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to actually set up your first campaign. And what you're going to want to do is you don't want to be ready to set up your campaign yet. You want to do a few things before actually setting up your first campaign. So you're going to go down to Skip Campaign Creation. This is going to allow you to actually set up your campaign properly. It's going to actually allow you to do some basic things, creating your very first campaign, which I highly recommend. So what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to make sure that you go through and you're going to want to set up your campaign correctly. So what it's going to ask you to do is you're going to do the billing country. Once you change this and once you set this, especially billing country, currency and time zone, you can't really change it afterwards. So you want to make sure that this is set to wherever you want to be running ads, especially the currency, because I know that cannot be changed once you actually start the campaign. So you want to do US dollar or wherever you're located at. Make sure you do that. There's obviously a variety of different currencies. So they ask you a question. It says, do you want personalized campaign guidance from Google Ads expert by phone? I always say no. The last thing I want to be doing is talking to a Google Ads expert. And I say that in quotations. And the reason why I say that is oftentimes they just tell you to spend more money and they're not actually running Google Ads. So I would always just say no to that. So you're going to click submit. Then you're going to go on to the next page. And obviously, once you're all set, now you've kind of set up that so your account. So we're going to go over real quick what your account is and necessarily what you should be looking at here. So your Google Ads Manager might look a little bit differently than this right here, but it's going to look similar if you have the old one, maybe you have the new one. So if you have the old one, it could look similar, but basically to create your first campaign, you're going to want to click right here, Create. In this dashboard, it's going to actually show you your different campaigns, but since we don't have any running, you want to get your first one up and running. So click Create. And this is going to tell you exactly, do you want a conversion action or do you want a campaign? The first thing I always like to do is I always like to do a standard campaign. The reason for that is because at this point, you actually kind of, you actually want to teach Google exactly what you're going for here. So, and you click onto this, there's obviously a variety of different that you could, that you'd be going for here is a lot of times what I just go for is sales when you're doing e-commerce, or if you want to just do leads if you're a service-based company. So sales if you're more e-commerce, you're selling a product, and leads if you're a service-based business or you just want to give people to reach out to you. A lot of times people will use the website traffic one, and the reason for that is sometimes when you use the website traffic initially, it will actually give you better results than if you do the leads and the sales, because Google is actually going to optimize for this KPI, and sometimes it will help you teach Google who you want to reach out to. So for right now, I'm just going to go with website traffic. Now, these are the different things that you can do, or the different campaign types that you can use when using with Google Ads. So the first, when you show up and search. So for instance, if you were, say you were to search for Turkey. Okay, let's just do marketing services in Philly, or let's do Trenton. Something more close to me. So obviously, IBM does marketing consulting services, but they do. So this right here is a Google ad, and that's exactly where this search type of campaign would be. And this is the most common one. This is the one I always recommend. Oh, let's go back up there. I always recommend for anyone getting started out. And the rule of thumb I do is, if you're just starting out in Google Ads, you want to just use the one of these different search campaigns. We're going to go over all of them real quick. Performance Max, each and every one of these campaigns. So you're going to use a little bit of search. You're going to use some display, shopping, depending on if you're e-commerce, and demand gen, or this one, which is video. I don't like that one because honestly, a lot of times what Google does is they just spend the most money. And the problem with that is you're getting so many different numbers and so many different analytics that it's kind of hard to track. And then you have to create different types of marketing and different types of ads for each of those platforms. So what I like to do is I like to focus on one. The second one is display. This is when you're on a blog, or like, let's say, the New York Times, and they have an ad on the side. A lot of times that's a Google ad, and it can be anything from just text. It's usually on the side of a website, blog, or something like that. You have shopping, and maybe you didn't know this, but if you go to Google again, we're just going for running shoes. Some of these right here. So if we go, I don't think any of these are actual ads. So it doesn't look like any of those are actual ads, which is actually really interesting. But you see here, as we get down here, you'll see some sponsored right here. So like running shoes, or if you just go into shopping right here, you'll sponsor right here. And these are all sponsored ads right there. So that's shopping. Video is whenever someone watches a pre-roll video on your YouTube channel. And then demand gen. Demand gen is it's kind of all the other advertising products. Basically, that runs on YouTube, or maybe if you ever seen an ad in Gmail. So select the ways you do to reach your goal. So you just got to put in your business's website, and we'll do sitesmarketing.com. I wonder if that's actually going to work. Let's see. And then choose your website traffic conversion goals and page views. You don't have to get too technical with this, but page views, it's a good way to just get it set up so that it tracks. Campaign name, and it's really important when you're naming your campaigns to make sure you're naming it in a way that can be easily tracked in the future. So maybe you can do this. You can do, Okay, so like I said, the campaign name, it really should be a campaign name that's easy to remember, and that one that you can just easily identify what the purpose of it. So this is going to be, I'm just going to name this site visits and search. And that's exactly what it is. And that's the whole point of it. So turn on enhanced conversions. I always say turn off enhanced conversions. Basically, provide on your website, such as email addresses. I just always say this no, because oftentimes we work in various different industries into very different countries, and sometimes you're not supposed to do that. So if you're in the United States, but I always just turn it off. But some people really, really are adamant about turning it on. So you're going to click continue. So as you go here, what do we focus? We're going to leave this guide. So what are we going to be focused on? And my first thing is clicks. I just want to necessarily get Google, and especially Google Ads, the longer you use it, the more it identifies necessarily what you're going after. So I always just go after the most bare minimum thing, which is clicks, getting the most clicks possible. So So you're going to want to set a maximum cost per bid. And the one way that you can actually figure out if what the exact bid amount is what you're going to want to do is go to Google Keyword Planner. And this is a free tool by Google. How to use it, but you're going to want to go to this tool, and this tool is going to show you the exact cost for Google Ad conversions. So what you're going to want to do is just load up. Okay. So it's still loading. Come on. So looks like they've actually had some updates, which is awesome. Leave it. So we're going to try to get search volume forecast, which is kind of what we want. Enter search volume and forecast. What you're going to do is you're going to write the keyword phrase that you want to bid for. So what you're going to do is, actually, let's just do, marketing in CT. And let's just see exactly what it comes back with. This is just a tool that you can use to see if, so here's exactly what it says. So based on this search volume, based on this keyword, which is marketing agencies in Connecticut, CT, looks like we're about between 100 and 1,000. So it's not really that many searches, but depending on how it is, those could be very valuable. So top bid, top of the page bid. So this is when the ad shows up at the very top. It's not bad, $3. For the page bid, high range. So this is the low range, this is the high range, $10. So what you want to do is you want to be bidding probably about twice what that is, and just to make sure you stay at the top of it. Now, some people have different strategies. I always say twice, but if you feel like that's a lot for you, then feel free to go a little bit lower than that. So let's just go back to our Google search campaign. This is also the maximum click cost per click. So CPC means cost per click. So the maximum we want to spend is $20, which is our total maximum. All right, so continuing on, I always click off both the search network as compared to Google search and other Google sites that when people search for terms that are relevant to your keywords. So this is kind of like talking about, I forget the exact sites, but I think Yahoo uses it, AOL uses it, and those just aren't sites that you care to be working in as much, just because you are going to get more bids and more progress just doing it straight on Google. I always do display networks. We want this to be a search campaign. We don't want to be doing it on display networks. So this is other websites that use Google Ads to generate revenue. So worry about that. So now it's when you're going to set up your campaign. So you're going to do wherever you want to do. So like for instance, I did United States and Canada, but you can also do other locations. So if you add locations in bulk, you can add cities, postal codes, as many as you want. But you can also do wherever in a location and target you want to exclude. So let's just say we want to go to Europe and from this. And so what you can do is you can kind of work out places you're excluding, places you're including to kind of build out exactly where you want your ads to show up. So target. So this is exactly what ads are going to show up for. And this is something that Google has been working on for the last few years. And it basically helps people understand, who they're actually going to be serving targets for. So do you want people that have presence or entrance? So basically people that are in the location and also or have interest, or do you want people that are just in the presence? So if you click this top one, be outside of this target location, but also have interest. If you click this, you're just going to show it to people that are present in the target locations. So the other thing about this is basically a good way to think about this is if you click this top one, this is people that show you're trying to retarget people that have maybe been on vacation close to you, and you serve them ads to go on vacation in the same place next time. Language, super easy. If you have a different language, you can put it there. English is always a good thing to be. So audience segment. This is extremely important because it's actually really like Google has done a really good job of actually being able to ads. So let's just do marketing. Let's do manufacturers. See what it comes up with. But basically, you can search by people in the manufacturing industry. So let's say I want that. That's my target demographic. You can do that by searching right here, or what you can do is you can just go to browse, and you can say, oh, who are they? Or are they a parent? Maybe you have an infant, a toddlers. That's who we want, but we don't want these other. Create this persona that you're going to be going after. So we're going to clear all this. Actually, whatever. We'll just leave this. We're not going to launch this campaign. Okay, so targeting settings for your campaign. So you have these two options right here. Targeting now, narrow the research of your campaign to the selected segments with the option to adjust the bids. Do not narrow the reach of your campaign with the option to adjust the bids on the selected segments. So I always recommend doing the targeting, but observation, you're going to use more money, but sometimes having that wider campaign at the end of the day, it will actually exactly what markets eventually. Okay, so here's one problem that if you use a click, so what did I do here? Why? Okay, so here we're going back. We cannot use to use broad match keywords or what these are. We can't use them right now because we need to value-based bidding strategy. This is something we can do later. So this is something that we actually don't need to set at this moment. So we're going to here. Here we go to create our first ad group. So Google can actually set particular keywords for your ads based on your website. So the first thing that I always recommend changing this ad group. So if you think about this way, you're going to have one major campaign. In that campaign, you're going to have different ad. You have women's t-shirts, men's t-shirts, and children's t-shirts. So that's how your campaigns are going to be broken up. One's going to be toward ads, one's going to be toward SEO, and then one's going to be to web design. So let's just do this one's website design. And what you can do here is you can actually get keywords based on maybe to advertise marketing. Actually, let's do website design. Let's just see what this one comes out. So you can click this, get website. Keyword suggestions, sometimes this works, sometimes it doesn't. I want to make sure that you are, to make sure that you're getting the most possible. You don't necessarily want to just go with all the automatic suggestions, but it's a good place to start. So these are good: website design, web design, web page design, website design. Okay, so that's not too bad. I wouldn't take all of these. But one thing to note is when you're going through this, you want to make sure that you understand this. So if you just put a keyword in here, it's going to be broad match. So broad match is, okay, anytime someone puts website or anytime it could show up with your ad, right? So that's kind of like a broad match. A phrase match keyword is when you put in, website design in New Jersey. So anytime someone could say, New Jersey website, that way, that's also going to come up. So if you put, let's do this. If you put in parentheses here, it's going to make it this phrase match keyword. And so this phrase match keyword now, I said before, you say, okay, I want this to be website design in New Jersey. That's the phrase you're going after. It would show up if you do, if someone searched New Jersey salary for website design. So what you kind of want to do is the keywords that are extremely critical for you is you want to put them in these brackets. Now these brackets are the exact match that you want to show up for. So website design in New Jersey, exact match I want to go after. Now this doesn't allow Google to kind of go off the reservation and show your your keywords to different people, but which is could be good, it could be bad, but it does show it to specifically those different people. So there is always this saying, add more keywords to your ads often to people searching for offers in your business. You can click view, and this is going to give you some more, some more keywords to add. Why not? Let's add these. Let's keep this going. Okay, so so whenever you see this triangle here, you can kind of just hover over it, and it'll actually show you exactly what it's going to be, what it wants to tell you. So it says to ensure that your customer's information is protected, use HTTPS whenever. Just go to actually sexmarketing.com. We can just copy that over. There, we're good to go. So that's the URL that they're going to see right at the top. This is the URL that's going to be displayed. So for instance, it's going to be right here. I'm sorry. So this is not the final URL. This is the page that you want them to land on. So let's just say, let's go to my website and on, the contact us, right? Go here, copy that. Boom. Final goal you have. This is the display path. So what you can do is you can say, okay, you want this to be contact us, contact us. This can only be so to kind of show off exactly where you're sending the customer or the person that's clicking on the ad. You can do 2 levels, so you can do contact us and you can do website dev. You just do website dev, right? And that's going to show exactly where you're going to send the person. It's a really good strategy. Sometimes you can get pretty creative, and so people understand exactly what they're clicking on. Below here, we'll see headlines. These headlines are headlines that are going to, we're going to get a little creative with this. And the reason for this is what you can do is you want to make sure that you write an ad that actually converts exactly what headlines convert. But one thing that you can do is you can say, you can see top website agency, and then you can see 100% results, increase by, let's just do 10%, whatever. But basically these headlines, they're also going to auto rotate. So you got to think about, these headlines might not necessarily be exactly the same. So if you click on actually this preview, it's going to rotate them throughout. So you want to make sure that each one of these are their own individual thing. And a good way to make sure that these are as accurate as possible, or that are as the top line headlines as possible. Search exactly what you're creating an ad for, and you can use your competitors and change different formats because probably what they're running is working. Okay, so descriptions. Now the description can only be so long, but it can only be 90 characters long, and this you want to make sure that it is not too complicated and not too long, but it speaks exactly to the person that you are talking to. And like I said, this is a whole nother section that I'm going to try to create videos on. Here you can add a business logo. I always think that's super good. You can add it super easy. Site links. So this right here, and I probably should create another video on this, but this is basically when you see an ad with links below it, and this can sometimes be good and can sometimes be bad, but it all depends. But like, let's just say you want to put contact us, and then you can put the final URL there, and let's say maybe say case studies. Case studies. So they're going to show up right below your ad, and people can easily click on these. And these are good, especially for case studies. Let's just say someone's like, okay, well, are you the top website design agency? Let me see exactly the work you've done. So those are sometimes good, and I definitely recommend adding them, but also you try to be as smart as possible and you can kind of get a little creative with exactly what you say in there. All right, so now that we've done that, we're going to go to next. And now we're going to do bidding. So Google always recommends a lot of money. They're always a big fan of you spending more money. They say right now the top line is 1,000, which is a lot. The bottom or the medium is 900. I always say you go with the one below, or you can just set a custom budget. Now, we always recommend the custom budget to be basically enough that it feels like you're actually spending money, but not little enough or not little enough money, so it doesn't feel like you're actually spending money. So you kind of want to get that sweet spot where it doesn't hurt, but it also feels like you're spending money. So, whatever it is a month, and this is also this is a daily cost. And imagine this, $900 a day. So this is going to be accrued every month. So usually it's multiplied by 30 or 31, depending on the month. So let's just say for the day, we only want like $15. Problem with that is it's only going to give us maybe, that's actually not bad. Average cost per click, that's actually not too bad. So it's $100 a month. Not bad at all, but I would recommend, trying to stay within this budget here. You don't have to go too crazy. And there we go. Now we've basically completed our first Google Ads. You're going to have to enter your credit card information on the next page. It's going to ask you exactly, the bidding style. You're going for maximum number of clicks. This way you can kind of review everything here. It's going to, sometimes if you have problems, like in keywords, it's going to give you a problem here or a review or a orange triangle for a warning. Let's go back to the keywords and see what's the exact problem. What is the problem here? Can we just do done? Yeah. Oh, okay. I think that's it. Okay, that was it. We didn't click done. So we can go back to review. Oh man, keywords and ads. It's still giving us. Oh, never mind. Well, if you're having a problem like this, go back and I'm not really sure why. An issue has prevented your Google Ads from searching. Okay, and we are back and had a few little problems I just had to fix. And one thing was I didn't have enough headlines in there. So now that we fixed this, all we have to do is go to publish campaign. Once you click that, it's going to ask you for credit card details, making sure you have any type of money connected to the account. You're good, publish a campaign, and you're all set to go. If you found this video interesting, if you have any questions, please put them down below. If you're looking for help setting up your Google Ads, reach out to me. I'll put a link in the description. You can reach out. I'd love to help you out. And yeah, if you have any questions, put them down there and I'd love to answer them in the next video. Thanks a lot.